In today's fast-paced, frenetic world, we're incessant scrolling through screens and endless succession of 30-second videos dominate our lives in an era characterized by constant gaming, perpetual alerts, and never-ending notifications. In a time where the evil spirits of fear, anxiety, and worry try to completely take over our minds, where depression speaks loudly and authoritatively while daily stressors press down on us from every angle imaginable, it's not surprising that we frequently find ourselves completely overwhelmed, mentally overwhelmed, physically exhausted, spiritually exhausted, emotionally devastated, simply overwhelmed in every dimension of our being. However, overwhelm is not the only alternative available to us. There is an opposite and completely opposite place, an absolutely sacred and sanctified place, a space into which God Himself invites us to enter with love. It is a beautiful and extraordinary place where the deafening noise gradually fades away, where the turbulent chaos finally quiets down, and where our agitated hearts begin to beat again in a natural and harmonious rhythm. It is the sacred place of deep and transformative stillness, that sacred space where we submit completely, where we give involuntarily, where we rest fully. It is the place where we close our physical eyes to our own selfish and ambitious agendas. We deliberately close our eyes to our own impatient timeline and instead quietly settle into the eternal arms of the God in whom we trust completely with our lives. It is a sanctified and consecrated place, a place immensely blessed, and it has been meticulously cultivated and patiently refined by the constant presence and unwavering faithfulness of God Himself. It is the sacred place of total surrender, and this happens at a completely holy and apart time. It is precisely the place where God personally invites us to practice one of the most powerful, most transformative, and yet most challenging disciplines in the entire Christian life. It is the holy place of divine stillness. Psalm 46, verse 10 authoritatively proclaims, "Be still and know that I am God." Now, I have read and recited this scripture hundreds of times throughout my Christian life, but I have always spoken it in one continuous breath. Be still and know that I am God. But that hasty approach in itself clearly demonstrated that I was not truly in stillness. It was only in the midst of the deep preparation of this transforming message that I finally understood that this divine commandment is genuinely two-part and equally important. The second fundamental part of the commandment depends entirely on the intent and proper fulfillment of the first part, the extraordinary beauty and absolute security of the second part. Know that I am God. I am the one who possesses absolute and indisputable sovereignty. I am the all-knowing, omnipresent God who is everywhere simultaneously, and omnipotent who can do all things. The only one who sees you clearly and knows the complete fullness of all that concerns and affects you. The only one who is constantly aware of you and attentive to every detail of your existence. That glorious part is only experienced correctly and precisely through sincere obedience and complete surrender of the first fundamental commandment. Be still. To be still is precisely what opens the divine portal to the genuine experience of the absolute sovereignty of the Almighty. To be still allows us, no, rather it requires us to humbly acknowledge that God is completely in charge and that He is in absolute control of all things. When we move Psalm 46 verse 10 from simply being a verse that we quote mechanically to making it a spiritual discipline that we practice consistently, when we make stillness a constant and unwavering practice, when we make it our default response even in the most turbulent situations, that fundamental shift in our spiritual posture, that deliberate and sustained intentionality can literally alter the entire trajectory of our lives. In radical ways. Yes, it is absolutely possible to change the entire course of our lives in dramatic ways, because when we practice stillness consciously, it radically transforms our perspective on circumstances. It completely changes our response in the midst of the most devastating crises. And I want to communicate to you something profoundly important about divine stillness. Although it may sound somewhat calm and passive, you need to clearly understand that it is not passive or weak at all. Stillness is an active posture rooted in absolute trust. Stillness is not human weakness or spiritual cowardice. Stillness is intentional and conscious surrender. Stillness is deliberately choosing trust over paralyzing panic, intentionally selecting faith over desperate frenzy. It is intentionally stepping back, willingly letting go of our frenetic and overwhelming pace, and allowing God to be God fully in those crucial moments when we don't even have the physical or emotional strength to continue moving forward on our own. Stillness means trusting deeply and completely. It means firmly believing that even when your natural eyes can't perceive any visible movement, you know with absolute certainty that God is still powerfully at work behind the scenes of the invisible. Stillness means standing exactly where He last spoke clearly, even when your emotions feel restless and unstable, even when your emotions are begging intensely for you to panic or flee the situation in terror. Stillness confidently declares, "Lord, I trust your divine timeline far more than my own human sense of impatient urgency." Stillness is God's loving voice personally inviting you to lean close as He tenderly whispers to your heart, "Just be still and rest. I'm here with you. I have not lost or abandoned you. You haven't missed your designated moment. Just stay with me in my presence. My timing is absolutely perfect and impeccable." And the beautiful and wonderful thing is that when we intentionally slow down, when we genuinely quiet our agitated hearts, when we stop trying to force results desperately, when we stop trying to fix absolutely everything by ourselves with our limited strength, then we finally give God the necessary space and complete freedom to do exactly what only He can do with His supernatural power. When your life seems to be completely upside down and chaotic, and you can't manage to calm down or settle down, there's another powerful scripture as well that you may want to meditate on deeply. It's Isaiah chapter 30, verse 15. He authoritatively declares, "In rest and in rest you will be saved. In quietness and in confidence will be your extraordinary strength." Do you hear that clearly? When you feel weak and completely worn out, you will find true strength precisely in being still and confident. Your strength does not come from frantic effort or incessant work. It comes directly from resting confidently in your unwavering faith. There is an incomparable and unparalleled glory that descends majestically when you sit in holy stillness in His presence.